Well, Tennessee won the first half, but they did not win the second half. I'm Caleb Jarreau. That's Eric Woods. We're here with the Daily Beacon, and we are going to recap a very eventful Tennessee football game and one that I thought was going to end a lot different than it did end. Eric, what was your biggest takeaway from tonight?
I mean, it was a tale of two halves. I mean, that's the best way I could put it. It was probably the best road game I've seen Tennessee play in a while. All things considered,
Yeah.
when you taking out last year at Vandy, stuff like that, but in terms of like implications, the first half went about as good as you can go, and Joe Milton was playing his best game of the season, and I think at half he had 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then you come out, 2 plays, 75-yard drive, and then all that momentum is gone, and then you just see everything go back to the way I guess you're used to.
I thought Joe Milton played one of his best drives of the season, really, or best halves, of the season. 175 yards in that first half. Really was putting together, he didn't have an incompletion to the second or third drive of the game. He was putting together good drives, throwing good passes, making good decisions, using his legs. He lowered his shoulder a couple of times to kind of get the crowd into it, get the momentum going. But then the second half happened, and like you said, Alabama came out, started with a run, and then Jalen Milroe threw it over the top to a wide open receiver in the end zone. And that was it. It felt like everything from there just snowballed. Then on the kickoff, we have the crazy sky kick, as Josh Heupel called it, and then one of the front line players calls a fair catch.
Yep.
Well, Cam Seldon has no idea that they've called a fair catch. He returns it from the 4-yard line. They down the ball at the 4. Tennessee's pinned. Kick it back to Alabama. They score. And Tennessee got outscored 27-0 in that second half. Didn't score a single point in the second half. It was all Alabama.
Yep.
And that is not how they started, and that's certainly not how they wanted to finish. But Eric, I mean, this could be a game that kind of put snowballs into like a bad season.
Oh yeah.
Because you were there and then you didn't get the job done.
I mean now you're on the outside looking in of the SEC East. All the goals you've set for your team, especially when you compound it with the Florida loss, you have 2 SEC losses, and I don't know the exact SEC standings right now, but 2 SEC losses is usually a death sentence. You have I want to say LSU had 2 last year and made the championship
with a tiebreaker over Alabama.
Yeah, and
but you're right. It's games like this that you have to win. You have to get the job done. And I mean, the offensive line play took a step back tonight. I felt like Gerald Mincey was out there on a bum leg, giving it all he could, and he was getting beat off the edge. He comes out hurt. You put in Dane Davis. He gets beat off the edge. Joe Milton gets strip sacked from behind. Didn't even know it was coming. Alabama scoops and scores. That's stuff that can't happen in the SEC, and it can't happen if you want to win. I mean, the second half, legitimately anything that could have went wrong did. And before we leave, we'll make it a quick one. We just watched a guy get tackled on the field, knocked out cold. We've sat in traffic all day. This has been quite an adventure to get here. Before we leave, the defense played well.
They did.
In the first half. I mean, Alabama's offense is not good by any means, but the defense held them to have a lead. The first time Tennessee's had a 13-point lead since 1999. What did you see from the defense tonight?
I mean, I saw them doing what they've been doing all season, getting to the quarterback. And then when you get to the quarterback, it helps your secondary out a lot. And then second half, they stopped getting it to the quarterback. That's where everything went wrong. And the secondary, it's decent. It's good. I might say good. But when you're not getting to the quarterback, then the secondary just isn't good. It's plain as that. Kamal Haddon's been having some good games.
But no secondary would be good.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Milroe had so much time in the pocket for an offensive line that did not come in tonight good.
Mm-hmm. And you look, and there were times where he would just drop back, and he was like kind of, for lack of a better word, dancing around and pump faking, and then all of a sudden he's just sitting there maybe like 5 seconds, throws a dart to Jermaine Burton on the sideline or something, easy catch. And then that plays a toll. You get fatigued, and then you just can't stop anything, and that's basically what it boils down to. But I mean, overall, it was a solid game. It was just negated by a terrible second half. Same with the offense.
And you talked about Kamal Haddon. He's a guy that's been a kind of a bright spot for the secondary. He gets hurt, right shoulder injury, did not look good. He took a big hit. Gerald Mincey, like we already mentioned, was hurt, so we'll get more updates on them Monday. As for Eric Woods, I'm Caleb Jarreau, and we will try to get out of here without our heads getting taken off by a security guard.